Good evening, once again, and welcome to the Hoosier Boys State Governor's Inauguration Ceremony. At this time, I would ask that you please stand while, say that first name? Bohannon Meadows of Delaney City, Warner County. Bo lives in Plymouth, Indiana, where he attends Plymouth High School. Kevin Wagner of Delaney City, Warner County, will recite the Pledge of Allegiance following that. Okay? Kevin lives in Indianapolis and attends Perry Meridian High School. So, Bo.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for another great evening tonight, and I thank you for bringing us all together here. Thank you for allowing us past 3 days, have a great time together, meet new friends, and Lord, I pray that in the next 2 days you hope us to just extend those bonds even more and finish out this week strong. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Please remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay. Before we get started with this, we got a couple little orders of business here. Is the piano setup good to go? Okay. I think we need to do a little reciting of the Boys State song with our piano player. He's been practicing diligently. There you go. Good. Been practicing on the piano at the University Center, and let's sing along and get it good for Friday night. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. Well, we won't need Andy with the piano. This will give you the tune. If he wants to, he can. You want to come up? All right. Well, we'll get Andy there. All right. So you're saying we need Andy. All right, very good, all right. Okay, here we go.
We're going to try it with the piano today. How about you play it once through so they get a feel for the music, all right? Can you do that? Go. Just give it a good go. We'll sing it and you follow along. How about that? All right, here we go. We'll sing it. You ready? Indiana is our state. We come from far and near, from north and south and east and west. So hear our lusty cheer. Hoosier Boys State, Hoosier Boys State. We are one.
So I guess Ayers County might have won the softball tournament today, huh? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. In all my time at Boys State, I don't think the band county has ever won the softball tournament. That's pretty cool. All right. So the order of the evening, we're gonna do our inauguration ceremony, and then we're gonna hear our speaker. Then we're going to do a little quick run through of our memorial service for Friday night. And it's a very solemn, very neat service, and we need to get it just a little bit of practice in to make sure we have all the people need to be where they need to be. Now we have a governor in place, so that's the last piece of the puzzle to get our governor here. Again, good evening. You, the electorate of Hoosier Boys State, have exercised your right to vote, and the leadership of Hoosier Boys State government has been chosen. Your future participation in the governing process is the best way to effect changes in our society. Beginning tonight, the work of running the Hoosier Boys State government begins, and the next 48 hours should prove to be some of the most intense and productive in terms of what you will learn. Tonight marks the passing of the leadership torch from one administration to the other. And sorry to say, our governor from last year could not make it tonight. Only now I got a little spot in my script here. The outgoing is present to witness his professor, so is Commissioner Boys State. So for the purpose of making this, he's not here. That's Tim. It is an honor and pleasure of Hoosier Boys State this evening to have a very distinguished former governor of Hoosier Boys State do the swearing in. Barry Tyler. That is to say, Assistant Dean Barry Tyler, and also candidate for City Council in Hammond, Indiana, Barry Tyler. That's pretty neat. We appreciate Barry taking time from his busy schedule to administer the oath of office to our incoming Boys State governor. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Barry Tyler from Hammond, Indiana. I thought I had it. There it is.
Good evening, Hoosier Boys State. It is my pleasure tonight, as Scott said, to serve as the former governor to give the oath of office for your 2019 Hoosier Boys State Governor, Ethan Roos. Ethan, can you come up here, please? So, Ethan, I hope you understand the weight of the progress that you made this week and the weight of the office that you're taking. It's a very serious matter, and I wish you well in the future. And so tonight, just repeat after me. We're going to take it slow, but repeat after me, and then we'll all be done. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ethan Rose,
Do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Indiana
and the Constitution of Indiana
against all enemies, domestic and foreign,
against all enemies, domestic and foreign,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and
to
allegiance
the same,
that
I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Ethan.
All right, I think we should start this right. So, Hoosier Boy State, can I get 2 claps and a Ric Flair, please? All right, now that we've got that out of the way, I'd like to thank you all for your support. I really appreciate everyone who voted for me and everyone on behalf of the State Council that voted for them as well. We can't wait to start working with you and getting our government in the correct way possible. No matter who you guys voted for or who you strove to be in a certain leadership position, now, as we enter phase 2 of Hoosier Boy State, we're all united as one, under one government, going to make our lives here as great as possible. Everyone is going to have a crucial role in making their state, county, and city governments as great as possible. And this extends all the way from your city councilmen, your sheriffs, your lawyers, all the way up to your governors, your secretaries of states, and your other state offices. In the coming days, we will be able to pass laws and make bills that we should pass in laws, and we can even make bills that we may not, just depending on how the democracy of Hoosier Boy State goes and feels about these laws. This is our government, and it's what we're going to make it. So we need to make it as good as possible. We need to put our best foot forward, and we need to have a great time here for the rest of the week. With that, we have a lot of work to do. Bills to write, plans to make, and overall, cities to build from the ground up. So everybody, if you guys could put your best foot forward and really make Hoosier Boy State as great as possible. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Governor. Very good. And thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. Very much so. Okay. Let's see. Where am I at here? Move on. So, governor's remarks. No stage. Citizens of Hoosier Boy State, these are your duly elected officials for the 82nd Hoosier Boy State. Gentlemen, I hope that you will serve your respective offices well and wisely. You were elected to serve Hoosier Boy State and the citizens therein. I expect you to uphold the finest traditions of our program. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll send them. Okay, you guys are welcome to step down. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to reacquaint an old friendship, and ran into a guy that I went to high school with. And he's done some pretty amazing things in his life, and some good, and some didn't quite go the way they should have. But all in all, you're going to see a rebound story here of life well lived, and still continuing to do that. Brooks is the two-term mayor of Huntington, ran for a third, and was primaried out. So this all happened after we were coming to Boy State. So his story tonight and his perspective is totally different from what he had originally planned to present tonight, maybe. But he is very involved in the community with the college in Huntington, Indiana. We both went to Huntington North High School. So he's going to tell you some pretty amazing things tonight. I would like to introduce you the Mayor of Huntington, Indiana, the Honorable Brooks Fetters.
Thank you, Scott. Great to be with you tonight. Where's the Huntington three guys from Huntington, Indiana? Where are you at? All right. When this is done, I want to get my picture with you guys up here, so don't be running off, okay? All right, sounds great. Always got to have a photographer. Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations to Governor Ethan Roos, and all of those who are serving with him in the state cabinet. And congratulations to all of you for exercising your given rights and opportunities to elect your leaders. Give yourself a round of applause in your leadership. "43 years ago, I had the opportunity in the summer of 1976, which also happened to be the bicentennial of our great country, to be in hot, sweltering Terre Haute, Indiana, at Indiana State University for Hoosier Boys State. I had no clue why I had been selected to be there. Maybe you don't either have any clue why you've been selected to be here. But here you are, and as the banner says, it's a week to change a lifetime. What I want to share with you this evening are 3 principles of public service that I've come to know: win, lose, or draw. This year started with a very optimistic hope that I would be the first third consecutive term mayor in the history of the city of Huntington, Indiana. That didn't work out so well. I was beat in my primary, and so now I get to finish strong through the end of the year and trust God for what's next come January 1 of 2020. So I'm here tonight, and I have some empathy for those of you who ran for state office, for governor, for lieutenant governor, and for other offices that did not win what you set your hearts and your minds and your efforts out to do. But what's important is that you have participated in the process. Because what makes our nation, our state, and our communities what they are today is we are the one shining example of self-government in the world today. Our Constitution starts with the words, "We the people," not we the dictated to, not we the abused, not we the beholden, not we the enslaved, but we the people have gathered together to form a more perfect union, one that we act upon with self-determination, selecting from ourselves through a democratic process those who will represent us in making decisions that affect our lives. Gentlemen, that is democracy, and it is the genius of America, and don't ever forget that. It has been my privilege over the last 40 years of my life to find myself in a variety of service callings. I was raised by a great family, a family that was focused on faith, time together, education, and fun. I had attentive parents who saw to it that my brothers and I were raised in the best way possible. My life has been shaped by being involved in service, public service, funeral service, and pastoral service. But what I can tell you today is the best job in America is to be the mayor of your own hometown. And I have been a doubly blessed man in that I have been the funeral director and a mayor in my hometown of Huntington, Indiana for over the last 20 years. It's been a privilege. What I also want to share with you this evening is that no experience, whether it's in winning an election or losing an election, no amount of education, no bit of education that you've received, and no matter how bored you've been in a class in high school or how you're looking forward to your senior year and on into college or the military or vocational or technical school, no bit or shred of education or experience is ever wasted in God's economy. Those experiences and your education become a part of who you are, and no one can ever take that away. I want to share with you this evening 3 principles of public service. But first and foremost, I want you to understand that there is a difference between a politician and a public servant. For the last 14 years, it has been my privilege to serve as a public servant on the most local of levels, 6 years as a city councilman and 8 years as mayor. But what I also appreciate is the example of George Washington and many others who, when their time of public service came to an end, they found other ways to serve that did not involve public office. Gentlemen, this evening, life is about service, whether it's in the public sector or in the private sectors that many of you will lead someday. The difference between a politician and a public servant is defined by Dwight Eisenhower this way. The opportunist, the politician, thinks of me and today. The statesman, or the public servant, thinks about us and tomorrow. Did you catch the difference? It's the focus of your attention. And you're learning that here this week. You can have lots of fun and there's great experiences and you're making new friendships, and some of these friendships will last for a lifetime. You just don't know which ones. But what I'm here to tell you this evening is that no education, no experience, no relationship that you've developed is ever lost. And it needs to be about us and tomorrow, not about you and the next election. Principle number 1 that I want to share with you, and I learned this lesson and it served me well in 2011. It served me well in 2015. And what I mean by well is I won. I won a first term in a 7-way primary in 2011. I won again in a 4-way primary in 2015. And I followed the same approach in 2019 in a 2-way primary, and I lost. But here's what I want to share with you tonight. Principle number 1 of being a public servant is simply be the best version of yourself you can be. The advice that I received from a friend of mine several years ago before I ran in 2011 was just be Brooks. Just be Brooks. What that means is being genuine to your core values. If you're a person who believes it's important to demonstrate respect to other human beings, regardless of their skin color, their creed, their faith, their gender, their sexual orientation, whatever it is, you treat human beings with respect. Always. And as you demonstrate those core values of demonstrating respect and being honest and proving trustworthy and working together with others as a team and choosing positive attitudes, those are all choices you make each and every day. You cannot control the things that happen to you or around you, but you can control how you respond and how you react and how you move forward from those experiences. Don't sweat what's happening outside of you. Pay attention and be genuine to yourself and be that best version of yourself. Don't give in, as Matthew Kelly, the great Catholic writer, says, don't give in to individualism, which says it's all about me and no one else. Don't give in to the temptation of hedonism, which says it's all about life being a party. And it doesn't matter who gets hurt, as long as we're having fun. And it's not about giving in to the myth of minimalism, which says, what's the least amount of effort I got to put into anything to just get by? There's not a one of you here today that I believe are here because you just want to get by. And I want to speak to that part of each and every one of you that aspires to do something great. But that you aspire to do something great, not on your own, but you aspire to do something great with the help of others. Because it's not about you. It's about us. It's about we, the people. A second principle that I want to share with you tonight for success as a public servant is that whatever you do, do it right. There is always a right way and a wrong way to do things, and that doesn't mean there's only one right way to do things, just as there's not only one wrong way to do things. But what I mean is, by keeping true to yourself and by keeping true to your core values and by choosing consistently to live out those values in your relationships with other people that are around you at the moment, on whatever task it is that you're pursuing, make sure that it is the right thing in deed and in word, in action and in speech. Watch what you say. Say what you mean. Become a student of language and be able to use words to help inspire and guide and inform others to make good choices. Say the right thing, do the right thing. But it's not only doing the right thing or saying the right thing, it's doing that or saying that at the right time. And what that requires in making sure that you're doing the right things or saying the right words at the right time means being sensitive and understanding self-awareness. Learn how you come across to people. Learn what your weaknesses and strengths are in communication. Demonstrate respect for someone else's differing opinion. Take the time to hear someone else out and ask questions. Don't formulate the answers until you've heard their reasons. And I say all these things as I say them to myself, because I don't get it right all the time either. You never will either. But we aspire to do the right thing in the right way at the right time. And when we talk about doing and saying the right thing in the right time, it means in the right way, which means learning about execution and ethics and expertise. A few years back, I had brain surgery, 20-some years ago. When I went in and talked to my neurosurgeon, I expected him to use terms I didn't understand. Why? Because he's hopefully smarter than me when it comes to cutting open somebody's head and messing in their brain. I want him to use words that he has to explain to me, because it means he's been to school somewhere for a dozen or so years and he's learned how to use technical equipment and take care of making a person whole. It's about making sure that when you do and say things at the right time, that you say it with an awareness of your ethics. Gentlemen, this evening you are living in an interesting time in American history. I am not impressed with the conduct of our Commander-in-Chief. Regardless of what you agree with on his policies and his politics, his rogue or maverick approach to the office, for anyone to imagine that they can lead a country like America with incessant tweets of 120 characters or less is just plain misguided. It takes more words to be right than it does to be wrong. And I want to encourage you to learn from those who do it right and to learn from those who do it wrong and find your own way of doing it right. Do it with expertise and do it with a sense of ethics that demonstrate the values of being honest and demonstrating respect and understanding the awesome responsibility that it is to be a leader no matter where you find yourself in this country. You want to make sure you're doing the right thing in the right way and saying the right thing at the right time, but you also want to make sure you're doing it with the right people. And this is where, as leaders, especially in the public realm or even in the private sector, you need to understand how to inspire and empower people. And gentlemen, I'm sharing with you tonight the best way to do that is by presenting a mission that is bigger than you are. A mission that is bigger than any group of you are. A mission that is so big that only all of you together can accomplish it. That's what inspires people to greatness. It's what inspires people to action. It's what inspires people to follow you, whether it's as a sergeant on a Marine Corps troop, or whether it's as a mayor in a small Midwestern town, or whether it's as a COO of a large Fortune 500 company. Mission always drives people to do their best. Make sure you are investing in inspiring people to work with you to accomplish great things. And as you do, say and do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, with the right people, it will bring the right results. The most good for the most people. Now, there are even times when the right thing is not necessarily what any one of us wants. But we will see as we do follow that process of doing things right, right results will come over time. Pope John Paul made this quote a few years ago, and it is a sobering comment, but it's important for you to hear it tonight because you are that next generation of leaders. Your time will be here before you know it. Pope John Paul II said this: every generation of Americans needs to understand that freedom consists not in having the right to do whatever we please, but in having the right to do what we ought. We have obligations to people around us. We have obligations to people around us to tell them the truth, to give them a full day's work for a full day's pay, to lead with integrity and honesty. As husbands someday, to fulfill your vows to your spouse. As fathers someday, to be there for your kids. As employees someday, to work hard for your employer and invest in your own skills and abilities to advance the cause of the company you work for, but also to advance your own career. And as leaders, it is important that we fulfill our moral obligations to ourselves and to others each and every day. Principle 3, always make what you do about the people you serve. As I've said already before, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about us. I don't know how many of you grew up in a house like I grew up in, or growing up in a house like I grew in, but when I went off to Boys State or I went off to anywhere else, my dad would take me aside and he would have a little speech that he would want to say, and he said, "Son, I have not given you much by way of financial resources in life. You've had the things you need, but not all the things you want. But as you head off to this great adventure, as you head off to Boys State, I want you to remember one thing. you've got a great last name. I haven't screwed that up for you. That name of Fetters is as good as gold, and whatever you do at Boys State, don't embarrass the family name. Any of you have a conversation like that before you came up here this week? Yeah, okay, good families out there. Whatever you do, don't embarrass the family name when you go up to Angola and you go to Boys State. Don't be a screw up, right? That's good advice. Don't embarrass as a public servant the community that you are privileged to lead, or the congregation that you are called to serve, or the company that you are employed to propel. It is always important that you understand as a leader you represent others, and they are looking for you to do it in the very best way, without causing embarrassment to the people who elected you or chose you or hired you to be the leader that you are privileged to be. Here's something I've learned in a very deep way in the last 6 weeks. As a public servant, it's easy for our self-worth to get tied up in the popular opinion of people who show up to the polls. In Huntington, Indiana, on May 7th, we had a Republican primary. We had one of the highest voter turnouts in northern Indiana for that primary election, 24%. Now that number shouldn't impress you other than that's really bad. Okay? But let me share with you a little of this. Some of you are from Fort Wayne and Allen County, and you know that that primary election had a voter turnout of 14.4%. Some of you are from down in the Grant County area and Marion area, and they had 5 people running for mayor and several council contested races. They had right at 10% of the registered voters show up on primary day. It's sad when you think about we, the people, have this privilege fought for and bled for by the veterans of our country, and only about 10% of us in some cities and 24% in Huntington show up to exercise that freedom and that responsibility and that opportunity that we have. Don't ever waste your vote by sitting on it. Make a decision, pull a lever, write someone's name in, but for heaven's sake, vote. It's critically important. But here's what I want to tell you about the election in Huntington. On May 7th, there were roughly about 2,400 people that went to the polls out of 10,000 registered voters who made the decision by a margin of around 200 that I would not be the next mayor of the city of Huntington. For 18,000 people. Gentlemen, I'm just sharing with you today, the margins are that close. The participants in our democracy are that few. And it's up to you, if you are in the opportunity to give leadership in the public arena, to prove worthy, to prove faithful, to work hard, and to help your friends get out that vote so their communities, their state, and their country can be the place that they want it to be. It's that important. What I've learned is that my worth as a person is rock solid because of my faith, my family, and my friends. Long after I stopped being the pastor of Union Chapel Church, long after I stopped being the funeral director at Myers Funeral Home, and long after I'm done being mayor of the city of Huntington, I will still be the father to Lauren, Melissa, and Jillian. I'll still be the grandfather to my 6 grandkids. I'll still be the husband to my wife of almost 40 years, Barb. I'll be the... I hope Barb's listening on live stream because, hey, babe, that one's for you. I'll still be the son of Paul and Barb Fetters, and I'll still be the brother of Luke and Todd Fetters. And I will still be a child of God, and I'll still be a person who has lived by my values and done my very best to leave the place that I've been better than it was when I got there. I'd like to invite Governor Roos to the platform. Where is he? Governor Roos? There's a famous general who was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff a number of years ago by the name of Colin Powell. He's somebody worth reading if you've not read his writings. He said this: leadership is solving problems. The day soldiers stop coming to you with their problems is the day you stop leading them. They have either concluded that you don't care, or they have lost confidence that you can help them. Either is a failure of leadership. The city of Huntington, over the last 8 years, we've operated off of this credo: we serve Huntington. And we do that through the acronym LSP squared. And what it stands for is leaders serve people and leaders solve problems. What's interesting is nowhere on this coin does it say Hoosier Boy State Governor, Mayor, Police Officer, Army Commander. There's no titles on this coin. All there is that leaders serve people and leaders solve problems. And so wherever you're serving in Boise State government over the next 2 days, whether it's a city councilman, a county councilman, a mayor, an assessor, a governor, whatever it is, if you are serving people and you are solving problems, you, my friend, are being a leader. And I'm going to present this to Governor Roos in recognition to all the service that each and every one of you, over 300 Boise Staters, are going to be doing the next 48 hours. As you sit here today, I'm getting ready to celebrate my 60th birthday in about a month. Back in 1976, I couldn't imagine living this long. None of you here today, I can think, are thinking much about your 60th birthday at this point. You're just looking forward to turning 18, I would think. Yeah. 17, 16, I don't know, somewhere in there. But I'll tell you what, whether you live a long life or a short life, the only person who knows how long you're going to live is God. And there's a psalm that I have embraced for many years, Psalm 90, verse 10, that says, God, teach me to number my days that I may gain a wise heart. I'm going to paraphrase that this way: God, help me know I'm not going to live forever, so I make the most of today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to any of us. In fact, in Huntington this past weekend, we had the tragic loss of one of our young men. A young man by the name of Stoffel died of an aneurysm at a BMX cross-country meet in Iowa. Tragic. He went there looking forward to a great time, and it happened that quick. In my own life, at the age of 17, I was called back to be a pallbearer for a high school classmate who was hit by a truck on a bicycle on the south side of Huntington. And it changed my life in such a way that I became a funeral director in my professional career. Long life or short life, every day is somebody's day to die. Now that's a sobering way to wrap up a speech, isn't it? But what it allows you to do is to make sure you're making the most of today. I'm on my 25th bonus year from a brain tumor. And that's great. I'm different. Not the same as I was before. I'm better. Here's what I want to leave with you tonight as you think about your future, not only in the next 48 hours, but in the decades to come. This week that will impact and transform and shape a lifetime. Several years ago, a gentleman who had mentored me in my political process and public service by the name of Bob Brown passed away tragically after a long battle with cancer and a life of service to our community. I remember standing one time in the prep room at the funeral home, and I was helping a gentleman, helping my team, and we were embalming a body, and this gentleman had died unexpectedly. He'd gone out to mow his grass, put on his work boots, put on his favorite flannel shirt, put on his favorite pair of jeans, went out, mowed most of his grass, died of a heart attack. So we're taking his shoes off. The person that was standing next to me says, I wonder if Mr. So-and-so knew that today was his day. I wonder if Mr. So-and-so knew that we would be taking his shoes off at 4 o'clock when he went out to mow the yard at 1 o'clock. It's like, no, I don't think so. And I took that experience and went, Bob Brown, my friend's funeral, everybody kept talking about, well, man, Bob's just a larger-than-life personality. There's so many things that he did. How is anybody going to fill Bob's shoes? You ever heard that statement, filling somebody's shoes? Well, one thing you need to know is at the end of every day, you don't know who may take your shoes off at the end of any given day. Might be you, probably will be you, might not. Don't be paranoid, just live with some knowledge. Well, when we talk about who's going to step up and fill somebody's shoes when they're gone, what I want to ask all of you, and I want to share with all of you, is don't worry about filling somebody else's shoes. You go fill your own. Go fill your own shoes.
Wow. Thank you, my friend. Incredible. Okay, what a story. You're welcome to stay if you would like. We're going to do some rehearsal for the Friday night program, and we're going to lower the flag first. If you'd like to stay for that, you're welcome. Whenever you're ready, if either myself or Andy will take you back to your truck when you need to. So we're going to continue the show here, okay? So we'll get the band together, and we'll do flag lowering. Oh, where's our three Huntington guys? Yeah, well, we need 3 Huntington guys. We need the adjutant, flag guys. Okay, come on up here. While the band's getting ready. The 3 Marion guys. Here they come. Yeah, we need the 3 Marion guys to lower the flag. Adjutant here.
How you doing, guys?
And 3 guys from Huntington.
Good. Michael liked it. We got Mr. Pear somewhere.
He is coming right here.
And where's our other Huntington guy?
There's some honey. We have a fourth one, actually.
Huh?
We have a fourth
We have
one.
four? Wow, Caleb. And who's this guy? Cade, I remember Cade. You're the new one. No, he's the new one.
No, he's from Maryland.
I'm Maryland. Oh, you're from Maryland. Okay, all right. So we have three from Huntington. We have three from Huntington.
Okay, here we go.
You said what?
Hoosier boys, stay at attention. Present arms. Order arms.
You may be seated. Thank you.
I want to get pictures of these guys.
Oh, okay. All right. You want to do it up here or in the background?
Yeah. Great. Okay. Good. Good. And if I can get him to take one of mine. Yeah.
Okay, so while they're doing this back here, we're going to go through some of the steps for the closing ceremony now that we have a governor here. You gonna take this down? Okay. All right. This won't be here Friday night, correct? Okay, that would be better. Because we got to have the cross right here. Okay. Governor and adjutant.
We need the governor and the adjutant up here.
Okay. You.
Okay. All right, just stand in front right here. Governor and the adjutant. You'll stand up here. All right. So the way this is going to work on Friday.